Hi everybody. I've had a lot of people ask me what's the best way to sit when you're in a vehicle, and so I want to just go through some things that are really helpful, specifically when you're doing a long trip, if you're going to be in the car more than a half hour or an hour. The first thing is with your seat. A lot of people sit with their seat leaning way too far back, and so when you're leaning back, you're rounding your low back. This is very hard on your low back, and you tend to sit right on top of your tailbone. So when you're bouncing and you're riding for a long period of time, that's extremely hard on your body. It's also, if you notice, very hard on my neck and my shoulders because I have to lean like this. This is one of the worst postures you can be in. So if you're in this posture consistently and bouncing up and down, very hard on your spine. So the first thing is to get your seat to come up. You want it to come up so you're sitting up actually straight, and then you can drive your rear end down into the wedge of your seat, and that gets you to sit up straight. Now, sometimes when you're driving for a really long period of time, it can be helpful to put a roll under the lumbar curve in your low back, and you don't have to do it all the time, but just for stretches of 5 or 10 minutes, that can give you some support and some relief there, especially if you don't have a good lumbar support in your car. So you got your seat up, you drive your rear end into the wedge of your seat, it gets you to sit up straight. If you have a headrest that shifts forward, it's just completely terrible for your spine. I know people say it prevents whiplash, but the headrest can get you sitting like this, and you're just guaranteed to have forward head posture and damage to your spine. In our old car, we were able to turn ours around. Now, this advice that I'm giving you, this is not safety approved necessarily, so like I can't legally tell you to do this, but in our old car, we turned it around so that we could sit up straight, and then in our van that we have, it doesn't turn around, so we actually took them out, and that was a decision we made. It doesn't have to be your decision. But with the headrest falling forward, we now won't buy a car. Like, that's like our top priority is, can we sit up straight, and what does the headrest look like? Otherwise, we just won't buy the vehicle. So that's very, very important. And then lastly, when you're driving for a long distance, your arms up here is very hard on your shoulders and your neck. And so when you're in town and you're making a lot of turns, yes, 10 and 2, that's great. But once you get on the road and you're going somewhere, what actually is helpful is if you get your hands down on the bottom part of your steering wheel and slide forward here, because what's happening is my shoulders are in alignment with my spine. It gives me a lot of relief in my neck and my shoulders. So if I'm driving on the interstate for a few hours, this is where I want to be, right here in this position. It might look a little bit different in town, but this will give you a lot of good relief for those of you that drive a long distance. Okay, so I hope that helps, and ask questions in the office if you have anything else.